Hey everyone, it's both the vegan preppers back for a couple chat. Woo! Do 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 do. Vegan prepper. Do 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 do. Vegan prepper. Okay, so we are here to cover a few topics. Primarily, you know, everybody's talking right now. It's August 1st, 2021. Cannot believe it's already August. But yeah, we're covering food shortages, meat obsession, and beans, kind of, and then our thoughts on future lockdowns and kind of, you know, what we think might be coming as a result of that. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah. See you guys later. Bye.
Oh wait, that reminds me. I have a funny thing. You were funny. It reminded me I have a funny thing. So I just thought I'd start with a funny thing that my son just shared. It was so hilarious. And I don't know, I feel like it's really important, even as you are serious, you are seriously looking at, you know, things that you need to do, things that you need to prepare. I think it's also really important to maintain your own lightness of spirit, in spite of what it is you face around you. Just like, I don't know, the Bible says a happy heart does good like medicine. And of course that's being proven now, that stress literally is a killer. People who are happen to be more positive and happy more of the time tend to live longer, healthier lives. So it isn't just silliness. It's actually, a lot of it is a habit that I've developed over the years of habitually being happy and joyful.
Yeah.
But anyway, the funny thing. So my son came in and told me he was reading an article on his phone. You might have to tell it. That apparently pet parrots, if they, like in Australia, they get loose, they'll encounter parrots in the wild and they'll teach them to swear. Like, I'm dying. So like, there's wild parrots flying around Australia right now, swearing. So I don't know why that tickles me so much.
Kind of Australia in a nutshell right there.
I'm just laughing. It makes me want to go there even more. Okay, I want to hear swearing Australian parrots. Okay. All right, that's it. Now for the serious
I wonder
stuff.
if they have an Australian accent.
Oh my gosh. Do parrots have accents? Okay, sorry, this is like pointless. I know everybody out there who's serious. This is why I'm never going to be part of the club. Because, right, exactly. Explosions, seriousness. Anyway, like I said, it's not, I don't know, it's not a lack of seriousness. It's just an excess of happiness. Okay.
Yeah, you know, we didn't, you know, she didn't start the channel to like scare people. This is never about scaring people or being doomsday, you know, whatever, fire and brimstone, all that. The purpose of this channel is to help people to continue to live a good life, regardless of the situations that are around us.
Yeah.
And part of leading a good life, a good happy life, is being happy.
Mm-hmm.
So the intention of the channel is to help people and help in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we can make you laugh occasionally and smile a little bit and have a better day. So we don't want you to finish the video and then be terrified about the future.
Right.
It's really about hope for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And doing preps now allow us to hope for the future a little bit easier.
Right. Yeah. But you know, for me too, though, like I remember back in the day I saw, was it Braveheart? I think was the first time I ever noticed. One of the guys, and there seems like there's one in every disaster movie, the guy, well, I don't know, like one of those, or not disaster, but like fight movies.
Fighty fight.
Sorry, I don't think of swearing parrots again. Okay. But like there's always one guy who, you know, the battle comes up and you know, it's a huge, like, insurmountable enemy or whatever. And then there's that one guy who's like, ha ha, you know? And I just remember that was the first time that really stuck with me. But I noticed it seems like almost every movie has, like, that guy. And that's always, to me, like, I want to be that guy. Like, the problems come up, I'm just going to laugh, like, ha, so now I'm going to come and I'm going to fight and, like, let it be fun. Don't let it be, I don't know, some horrible burdensome thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of my attitude towards all of it. It's like, you don't get to steal the joy. I feel like when something steals your joy, then that is truly when you have 100% lost.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, my life basically started as HTF. I've got all kinds of craziness in my background. I think that was a lot of it too. It was basically like sometimes the edges of my smile are just like 2 middle fingers going right up. It's like, whatever. Okay, all right, let's get into the actual thing.
Okay.
For real. You take us into the real topics.
Food shortages. Oh, you guys are hearing
Yeah.
about this. Obviously, this is not new information that we've got some issues in the world right now,
Yeah.
and we are very likely to continue to see food shortages
Mm-hmm.
and to see them long term. So, that not being new information is proper things to prep now. We are going to be seeing some food shortages. There's all kinds of craziness going on around the world. Weather conditions, production conditions, fallout from COVID, shutdowns, and it really just a very interesting perfect storm of crap that is affecting all of the things that we are used to being able to go to the grocery store to purchase.
Yeah.
And I mean, not just groceries, but all of the things that we are used to being able to purchase willy-nilly are becoming harder to purchase willy-nilly. So while we still can purchase them willy-nilly, we should purchase them willy-nilly. Or not willy-nilly, but focused and prepared.
No, I mean effortlessly
Yes.
is what you mean. Yeah.
It's easy to go to the store right now and buy food as much as
Like,
you want.
Just grab something or just go. Expect it to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But like even with my sugar, like I just had a conversation with a person in the comments of another video. She was asking which sugar I use. And I said, well, I was getting it from Costco, but I'm switching over to Azure Standard. I'm getting a 25-pound bag in my next order. Well, actually, I'm not. So they didn't have it. Like it ran out before the order shipped. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that. So I guess I'll have to go back to Costco and get another couple bags. Hopefully it'll still be at Costco. I've been hearing things in my stocking group on Facebook about sugar shortages and things like that. So it's just, you know, there's a whole long list of things that are shortages now. It's just everywhere. It's to this point where it's like, how, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, we were just watching Rudy, right? Alaska Prepper. We're just watching him, you know, and it's like, how, if you're not stocking up or preparing right now, is at least something like how are you not? Like, I want to know how. Like, how is it possible that you're not at least trying? You know, you don't have to go the full, like, you know, like buckets and Mylar bags and craziness or whatever, or craziness. It's not craziness, but like people think it's crazy, but even, you know, 1 bag of rice, 1 bag of beans, do something. You know, it doesn't have to be stored for 20 years. It'll last even for a couple years, just out, you know. I don't know, it's just, it seems so easy, and why not do it? I don't know. Yeah, it's just mystifying to me. So yeah, I'm hunting sugar right now. Which obviously that, I keep trying, like, it's not gonna be the end of the world if I can't get sugar. I hope. Maybe it is the end of the world if I can't get sugar. But you know, it's something that I like to have on hand, you know, for canning and other things. You know,
Yeah, you don't really realize how something that you are used to having in the house all the time affects all of the things that you do.
Right.
And yeah, like you said, it goes into canning.
That's the main thing, honestly, for me.
And we don't use a lot of like sugar, just to eat.
No.
So.
But yeah, I don't know. It's good to have on hand. It's a forever food. It's something that you can use for other things. You stock sugar and molasses, which some people say is a forever food. Some people say is more like a 10-year food. Either way, stock molasses, and then you have brown sugar. You could just mix the two together. You get brown sugar. It's like, yeah, so you can have it on hand for multiple things. I mean, I use it to make our hot chocolate mix, things like that. But yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know. So yeah, shortages everywhere across the board. So do you have, excuse me, like your own theories about why we're experiencing huge shortages? And because I definitely have my own theories.
I don't know if I have theories necessarily.
Or observations?
Observations.
Or what you feel might be going on with some of it? Like,
I mean, beyond just the obvious.
What's the obvious?
The obvious is...
Is it obvious?
Is it?
I don't know.
We talked about it a little bit.
Well, I know. I just mean, whatever. I'm trying to get you to talk.
I know. It's hard for me.
It's hard for me too.
Something I don't know if everybody realizes is that we are essentially the food that's on the stores at the shelf is last year's produce, last year's crops, last year's plants. So if we have a significant event or multiple events happening currently, it's not affecting the food that we have right now. It's affecting the food that we would have in a year from now, 6 months from now. So if we have something that we're used to buying, like rice, and those crops are being decimated by flooding, then it's not affecting the rice that we can buy today. It's affecting the rice that we could buy 6 months to a year from now. So we have to be kind of looking at some of the events that are happening in the world and anticipate what we're not going to have a year from now, and maybe purchase it today.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been, like I said before, COVID has affected a lot of the production of things, and it's so multifaceted that it's terrible, but it's kind of interesting at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if a manufacturing facility shuts down, then that doesn't just affect the thing that is being manufactured there, it affects all of the other things that get manufactured with that.
Right.
So with the circuit board shortage, we're in a circuit board shortage because of a lot of manufacturing delays due to COVID.
Drought even? Isn't that's also, like you said, it's fascinating in a kind of, I don't know, like weird way, but yeah, drought, because the manufacturer requires so much water to cool stuff.
Right.
It's like drought in, is it Thailand? And
Sure.
it's slowing production. Things like, so it's like, yeah, you wouldn't think like a drought would affect microchips.
Right.
But it does. So it's just very strange.
So yeah, there's so much of a far-reaching effect that you can't get a microchip. That doesn't just mean that you can't buy a computer, but you might not be able to get your food as efficiently because everything is computerized. If the computer breaks at the manufacturing facility for the canned food that you want to buy, then that slows down the production while they wait to get a part to repair their equipment because they can't get the part because the microchip doesn't exist right now. So all these little details that are affecting the entirety of how we purchase things, mm-hmm. and I don't know if we've ever had such a
like interconnected, interwoven,
yeah.
intricately put together system.
Right.
The more complex it gets, the faster it just completely unravels.
It's fragile
from like the one tiny pull. So yeah, that is it is definitely something to kind of keep in mind. And well, even like you're experiencing at work, major, the rubber shortage, right? People can't get tires for their vehicles.
Yeah.
They're on back order. So many of the manufacturing shortages due to COVID and things being shut down, all those non-essentials being shut down. We're starting to see the ramifications of that. Things that, you know, some... Oh my gosh, I'm about to have some opinions. Like, I don't know, like those big wigs up in Washington, 100% completely disconnected from real life, probably don't even know what a tire is. Okay, they probably do. Okay, but like, you know what I mean? Like they have no idea the intricacies and the workings of life, and they're up there deciding what's essential and what's not essential, shutting crap down for a whole year. And we are experiencing the ramifications of that right now. It's ridiculous, and it's unprecedented, and it is just more far-reaching than I think anybody could ever know.
Yeah, the amount of back orders in the automotive industry right now is insane. Pretty much anything is on back order. So because there was a shortage and people ordered stuff that wasn't there, now the manufacturing can't even keep up with,
Right.
They can't keep up with the current supply, and they can't catch up because of the back supply. But we've been told on some stuff that they have parts, but they don't have the packaging materials to ship them.
Yep, that is
So-
coming up in my business too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they don't have bubble wrap, so they can't wrap the part. So they got the part sitting there, but they can't ship it because they're afraid it will be damaged in transit because they don't have the packaging materials. And it's like that's kind of mind-boggling. Like
Yeah.
there's also no out-of-the-box thinking on that. Like I don't know, maybe just go buy newspaper and wrap it up. I don't know, do something else.
When was the
But
last time did you like get everybody in the whatever facility to bring in their grocery bags?
yeah,
Like,
something.
save your plastic grocery bags. We'll start packing stuff with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you don't.
Oh, we don't have bubble wrap. Guess we're not shipping any parts. It's like okay. No.
Can you just like exercise a little bit? Problem solving? Yeah, I hate that. I hate that so much too. Like hearing stuff like that, or people like, oh no, this is so I can't. What do you mean you can't? There's no such thing as I can't. There is always a solution.
Yep.
Always. Anyway. Yeah, it's crazy.
So that was a very.
Just sort of talking about shortage. It's
Yeah.
just like I don't know what the point is. It's just like, you know, it's everywhere. And I guess it just kind of comes back to that thing again where it's like, why on earth are you not putting something aside? If I think too, like we're moving forward even, we have no way of predicting what we're gonna need.
Right.
So like we've talked about many times before that, you know, I can't, like your brain can just go like figuring out all of the things that are coming or may come or whatever. But the most important thing is just to sort of make sure those basics are covered, right? Food, water, the ability to cook it without power. That's basically what you need. Basic sanitation, a means of disposing of your waste safely. You know, learn how to do a composting bucket, toilet, or whatever. I guess if you live in an apartment building, that's harder.
Yes.
If you don't have a space for that, but gosh, yeah, I don't know. It's just cover your basics because we have no clue.
Yeah, look at the things that you use every day, things that you feel like you can't live without, and buy an extra.
Yeah. Your entertainment too. I think about that. Like we were without Wi-Fi today for like 5 hours, and it was like life screeched to a halt. You know, we're straight up in the 1800s, yo. Like we don't even have anything. Can't even watch my shows because I don't own any of my shows because I stream all my shows. You know, like stuff like that. Like kind of, you know, realizing like. You start buying some of these things on discs again, and I don't know. I mean, if you lost the internet, of course, if you lost electricity, then you don't even have any of that. But like non-electric entertainment, you know, craft stuff, knitting stuff, painting stuff, learning how to do that, board games, things like that. Like you have to, books, actual books, you know.
Yeah, keeping your mind occupied during hard times is extremely important. Just sitting there wondering where your next meal is coming from is,
Yeah.
hopefully it's coming from your shelf. But
Yeah. For real.
but yeah, when you're struggling through hard times, being idle is very hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need something. So many little preps that are easy to do. I mean, you can go buy some books for the Goodwill or whatever for $1.
Yeah. Yeah. True. I think. Yeah. Anyway.
So good things to prep right now. Just like a really quick, like if you don't have a lot of money to do preps right now, which I totally understand. It's tough to add more to the grocery bill, but beans and rice are super cheap.
Yeah.
It's like dollar for dollar, the easiest way to prep. You can get a huge amount of food for very little money. It's getting more expensive.
It is. It is.
Beans and rice are getting more expensive, notably more expensive.
Last time we did it, I noticed it had increased in price.
So
a few dollars, yeah.
So it doesn't seem like a lot when your 25-pound bag of beans goes from,
it was 12 to 15.
Yeah,
$15.
$3. It's still a good value, but I mean it's
a large percentage increase.
It's a large. I was trying to do the math, but it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. 25% increase.
Sure. Is it?
I just did the math. Was I right? Somebody let me know if I was right. That's amazing. Okay. Well, unless I was wrong, then it wasn't very amazing. But
I think it might be wrong. I'm not sure. We'll do the math later. We'll put the correct math right here.
$3 of 12. That's 25%.
It's ish.
What do you mean, ish? Hold on.
Okay, she was right.
I never do math right, so this is like really cool. All right. He has the more mathematical brain. Can you maybe tell?
Not today, apparently.
Anyway, okay. So,
anyways, yes, beans and rice. Great value.
I would say salt. Okay, that was one thing. It was funny, like how long I prepared all of this food before I heard somebody else, and I wish I could give credit where credit is due. Some other prepping channel, give you love and blessings, whoever you were, sort of mentioned the salt, and I kind of went, oh my gosh, you're so right. You can prep all this food, and it's going to taste like nothing if you don't have salt. So, like salt, seasoning packets, flavor of some kind, definitely don't forget that either. But even if it's just beans and rice and salt, that's better than nothing,
Yeah.
So
when you go to the grocery store to buy the stuff you normally buy, just if you're at Costco, throw that 25-pound bag of beans, and maybe the next time you go, you can throw a 25-pound bag of rice.
Or just leave out the whatever $1 billion pack of meat if you're not vegan and you're paying astronomical prices for meat right now. Start stocking the other thing, maybe. Funnel that money. It's okay. Yeah.
Shall we get into meat?
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about meat specifically. Meat obsession. Meat, like meat.
This may come as a surprise to meat people. You don't actually need meat to live. It is dollar for dollar a very bad prep.
One of the worst values that you can have. It's like, we're hearing people like literally, just spending so much money to get a freeze dryer just so that they can put up meat. It's like, now I know I'm not the math person, but let me do some math on $3,000 plus whatever the meat costs.
$3,000. Yeah.
Could you maybe, I'm trying to think, have I spent $3,000 even on what we have on these shelves, I don't think that we've hit 3,000.
No, probably not.
Like I mean, it's not an insignificant amount, but I don't think I've even spent $3,000 on all of the food that we have on our shelves. You're not supposed to talk about your preps, but oh man, it's just like, God, just protect us, because I'm trying to help people here. We have well over a 3-month supply of food now, and I haven't even spent $3,000 on all of what we have. And so, like, the idea of dropping $3,000 on a freeze dryer just to be able to put meat up is like, I try not to judge. This is not judgment. This is like gobsmackedness.
Yeah, trying to understand the logic. It's like, it's not, yeah, I mean, a freeze dryer is awesome.
Yeah, I wish we could,
one,
I wish,
but
right?
If you're really concerned about making sure you have food for a year's supply, then $3,000 could buy a lot of that.
Right.
I mean,
especially if you were buying like just beans and rice.
Yeah.
Because like I haven't gotten just beans and rice. There's like other more expensive stuff in there. Like
cheap stuff. I mean, oatmeal is super cheap and pretty calorie dense.
Popcorn. Like, and so I know that these are a lot of carbs, but also like just do yourself a favor. If we have to try to convince you as an omnivore, even if it just releases you to try to store up some other things, go to Cronometer.com. I'll put it right here on the screen, and look up the nutritional content of, say, a cup of rolled oats. It's like 19% of the iron that you need for a day. There's, I mean, so many other, like, I think well over 100% of your magnesium, your manganese, it is ridiculous how nutritious these things are, especially if you stock maybe quinoa or whatever, or beans themselves. And it's not like a lower form of protein. It's actually a perfect form of protein. You don't need meat to get complete protein. You can get complete protein from all kinds of plant foods. You know, it's just, to me, I think it's just sort of something that needs to be laid to rest. I mean, I honestly don't care if people go vegan. I mean, I kind of wish you would, not because I need people to agree with me to validate my views. Believe me, nobody validates my views. Maybe you do. But like, I don't need you to agree with me. I need to put the information out there that it's not the only option. It's not even the best option, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm vegan. But also, I'm not talking about Franken meats. I'm not talking about lab-grown meats or Beyond Meat or Impossible Burger or any of that garbage. It's garbage. It is. Even we recognize it as garbage. We're talking about whole foods. Tofu, tempeh, beans, protein sources that are just, you know, incredible protein sources. So, yeah.
You know, we were talking a few minutes ago, well, before we started filming, how if you look at the statistics, if you look at the numbers, the amount of food that is produced on planet Earth in order to feed meat production, you could feed the world easily on the food that's being fed to meat. So if we truly are going into a food shortage, which we are pretty sure that we are, then the best thing to do would be to eat the things that are being fed to the things that we eat. It's a much better way to spend the food.
Right. Because you follow the logic. If meat is so nutritious, where does it get its nutrition from?
The food that it eats.
It's food. So we can skip the middle cow, the middle pig, or, you know, and just do it. And also, like, people talk, they want to talk B12, that's fine. I don't know. I don't want to turn this into like an argument video, because that's not really what it's for. If you have questions about B12, definitely we could like stock B12 supplements, but also B12 is present in a natural environment. Theoretically, if the stuff hits the fan completely, Australian parrots would be willing to say the word, but if the stuff hits the fan completely, we would be living much more close to nature. We would be foraging. We would be doing that. We would be getting our water from streams. We would be doing that. We would start to get B12 back into our diet from nature and not from feedlot meats, where it is also something like in the 80s, I'm pretty sure it's in the 80s of percentage, like 80 to 87% or something like that, of all B12 supplements produced on Earth are fed to livestock. And that is why they're such a rich natural source of B12. No, they're not. They are supplemented. So it's kind of the same thing. You skip the middle cow, skip the middle pig, just take your own B12 supplement. And then when that runs out, you'll just be getting it from the water, from the dirt on your food, from whatever, because B12 is in the environment. Again, where do the animals get it? They get it from what they eat. Only now, the vast majority of them are getting it, injected or whatever. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Cool. Should we move on?
Sure. Oh, yeah, to the beans. So then if you're not going to focus on meat, what will you stock instead? Stock beans. But as a tidbit, like a tip, especially if you're not used to eating beans right now, just start incorporating beans into your meals. Do like maybe a half cup at a time. Over time, gradually increase that number until you're eating a large volume of beans. The reason that people experience gas pains and gastrointestinal distress is because they don't have the bacteria populated in their microbiome, or their microbiome is not populated with the bacteria that digest the beans. And I have said many times on the channel, truly, it's beans the magical fruit. The more you eat, the less you toot. Honestly, it truly is. Because you adjust, you readjust your digestion, and then you're able to eat them. Now, there's all kinds of tricks. You can soak them. You can soak them in baking soda. You can do all kinds of, you can sprout them. You can do so many things to mitigate the digestive distress if you haven't been eating a lot of them. And you can. I don't know. I just take beans from my pantry and dump them in the Instant Pot, and that's what we eat because I don't remember to soak anything. So, I mean, we're fine. Like, I don't get gas pains. I used to get horrible gas pains, and I mean, like, debilitating. Like, I felt like I was being stabbed in my gut. So I understand this is not like, it's not little.
It's not a one-day conversion to eating only beans.
No, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you are stocking a whole bunch of beans, and that is what you're planning on putting up for, some sort of, stuff hit the fan situation, start acclimating yourself to eating beans now, so that you don't potentially put yourself into like a debilitating position when you may need to be the most alert and aware and awake and able to do whatever it is that you need to do.
Yeah, just part of prepping your body, just like working out, eat some beans.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I have to say about that.
Cool.
And in for a penny, in for a pound, shall we go ahead and discuss our thoughts on future lockdown?
Sure.
I don't think it's going to be that long.
Yeah.
I honestly, for me, looking forward, shortages are a concern. I don't really have any control over that. I don't have control over any of this. We're going to prepare as best we can. But honestly, for me, my biggest concern is the idea that they may try to do lockdowns again. That's my biggest concern. Because I don't think we can afford another lockdown.
No.
What we're dealing with now is any indication we cannot afford another lockdown. And I just mean like monetarily. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we're dealing with an interruption to a flow that's been flowing for forever. The consistent flow of society. We live in a certain way, and that is dependent upon every piece of that puzzle. Just like we were talking about a few minutes ago, how one shortage affects another shortage, and somebody says that something is essential but something else is essential, then they're extremely short-sighted and extremely ignorant to the workings of the entire world. Everything is essential. Everything is part of the system.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think you just can't know until it's not there.
Right.
And that's the thing too that makes me so angry, and it made me angry at the beginning of the whole thing. Remember this? I would talk about like you don't know. You don't know what's important, what's essential, and what's not. How can you decide what's essential? Because all these non-essentials are what run the essential thing.
Yep.
Like it's pure insanity to me that there's even a thought that you can decide. Anyway.
So yeah, mechanics were considered essential, so I was able to continue to work.
Mm-hmm.
But the people who make parts for us were considered non-essential. So we have used up all of the parts because there was a finite amount. So now all of us who were essential can't do our jobs anymore because the non-essentials were making us stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's just crazy. It's just like one example.
I mean, it's part of our lives because it affects our ability to make money. But somebody who didn't understand the system said, shut it down.
For safety. Which I understand, but it's like for me, look, I'm not one of those who thinks that this whole thing has been a hoax. So don't think that for a second. But I am one of those, I don't know, the proud left of people who attempt to see the whole picture. I remember I was just like, oh, no. We can't just stop it. Or I don't know if it comes from how many years I've been immersed in like permaculture and working in our yard to create permaculture, closed loop systems and the intricacies and amazingness of nature. And it's like you try to take just one piece out and suddenly the whole thing falls apart. But it's like, we're not smart enough to know that it's going to fall apart if you remove that one piece. You know? Yeah. I don't know. Like even scientists, like they built a biodome to see if they could do grow crap on Mars or something.
Something like that.
I don't know what it was. And then everything, all the limbs, limbs of the trees, they got big enough and they start just falling off and things stop thriving. And then they find out that wind is necessary. Like if there's no wind, the trees don't form any strength in their limbs from having to like resist the wind. And they're too heavy and then they just fall off. So like little things like that, like they didn't know the wind was so important to trees. Like, I don't know. So it's just, anyway.
Yeah, trying to take a piece out of a system that you don't understand, you didn't design, is just bananas to me.
It is straight up bananas, yeah. But I also, sorry, what were you going to say?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, also my big concern is not just also like future shortages and future issues, is if they try to do another lockdown, I don't think it's going to go smoothly this time. And that is my primary concern. Is the fear of social unrest and also the fear of where the social unrest will come from. It's not going to be from people smashing windows and stealing TVs, okay? And that's the thing that really scares me, honestly.
So yeah, we could be looking at people who are otherwise law-abiding, peaceful citizens deciding not to be peaceful because they have had their lives torn apart for almost 2 years and know what it's going to do to them to have it happen again. They're going to say no.
Right.
And what level of no that looks like is going to be up to those individuals. But yeah, people are over in Europe. They're having significant civil unrest,
violent protests,
because they're trying to shut them down again. And
this is the shutdown or it's mandatory pokes.
Oh, was it that?
I don't know. It might be both. I know specifically in Paris they were trying to mandate the artificial immunity. I don't know what word. Yeah, like what words are we even allowed to say? Which is so stupid. I live in freaking America, and I'm concerned about what words I'm allowed to say. Anyway, sorry. Oh man.
Hashtag censorship.
Right? Hashtag misinformation. Hashtag fact checked. Hashtag whatever. Okay, so yes, the artificial immunity mandate. And they're just throwing all kinds of huge protests and violent protests. They're turning violent in Paris. So
People don't like being told what to do. Whoa.
Just like, I remember Russell Brand was like, they're fine with revolutions in Paris. It's like, how many times did they overthrow their government? It's like, people need to be concerned. Anyway.
New one frequently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, people are tired of it. People are tired of having their elected officials tell them how to live. And
our servants, by the way.
Our public servants.
Servants.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Let's not get into that subject.
I'm getting too many of my opinions are starting to leak out. I don't know if I should do it. Oh man.
To be a volcano of opinions.
It's like my sweet little live and let live. Honestly, I'm like live and let live. So I do have extremely strong opinions about involvement of my servants in my life. So yes. Yep.
Yeah.
They don't do what I tell them to do either, which is a really big issue.
Do whatever they want.
Gosh. And then they vote to make me pay them more. And I don't like that. So, anyway, okay. There are cursing parrots in Australia.
Can't lock down the parrots in Australia. Boom.
Okay.
So yeah, at any rate.
Yeah, I think that should be it.
Actual lockdowns affect our ability to get stuff. And people resisting lockdowns affect our ability to get stuff and to move freely. So
yeah,
if there's significant civil unrest, then that affects our ability to go out safely.
Yeah.
So we might be having to hole up in our houses. So
yeah, I have deep concerns too for government response to such things. You know, we have a son who is of draftable age and things like I'm just so concerned about kind of future stuff. All the people who are out there calling for another civil war, you better make sure you're on the front line instead of my son. Okay, I'm not for any of it. I'm talking about all of this because I'm concerned about it, not because I'm for any of it. I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we do not advocate violence.
No. All right.
Obviously, we're vegan.
You just feel like F you, mate.
Chicken. There's a bunch of parrots in Australia saying bagak. That's cultural appropriation.
Okay, that's it. Sorry, what sound did parrots make then? Oh my gosh. Alright, that's it. We're devolving. It's late. We gotta get back out to our kids. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful at all. I'm like, I don't even know if it was. Hopefully it was helpful at all. It gave some good information, maybe made you laugh a little bit, and hopefully inspired you to start preparing if you haven't done so, or to kick it into gear, gave you some ideas to continue your own preparedness journey. As always, it's just our desire to serve and be helpful. We mean it because you didn't elect us to say that. And so I will just thank you again. And as always, we hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll turn it off.